What's up, you guys? I'm so glad you made it to my channel. Hey. My name is Olivia Harris, and today we are going to be talking about getting comfortable with the uncomfortable parts in ourselves. First of all, nobody wants to be wrong, because being wrong is uncomfortable. Most people in modern society don't want to feel uncomfortable. Everybody's trying to run from feelings like embarrassment, crying, emotions, all these different things. We all run away from ourselves instead of addressing the rough parts, the bad parts, the toxic parts. But the only way you can attract good energy and good relationships into your life is if you are willing to grow. So what happens if you stay in your comfortability and never change? Well, a few things happen. Avoiding uncomfortability looks peaceful on the surface, but let's say you are constantly causing pain to other people. Like, you know the full truth about what you did. You know you caused harm to that other person, but you are unwilling to face the guilt, unwilling to face the shame in yourself that you never tell the truth, you never confess, you just keep holding up the lie. Eventually, the guilt, the anger, the sadness, it's all going to build up inside you, because when you know the truth about a situation, that guilt will start to tear you apart. The stuff that you have done, like, that stuff builds up. Like, it doesn't just disappear just because you decide not to face it. It just stacks up and stacks up and stacks up until it's the end of your life, and you're looking back on it like dang, like I really was bad, like I really could have changed, like maybe things could have went differently if I just faced the uncomfortable parts of myself. And another thing is, guilt and holding like a lot of stress in your body can really affect how it functions and the overall resilience of your body. If you never look at your patterns and look at, hey, this is what I'm doing wrong in a situation, you may have the same conflicts and negative situations happen over and over and over again, because again, you keep re-attracting that stuff back into your life. Relationships stay shallow, they stay strained. People see that you're not genuine, they see that you aren't doing the work, they see that you're not willing to grow, they see your heart is not in the right place. People can feel that stuff. If you do not face the uncomfortable parts in yourself, you may get to the end of your life and feel stuck, feel dissatisfied with your life. So today we're going to avoid all of these negative effects and focus on how you can face the uncomfortable parts in yourself. If you want more content like this, like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content like this from me. The first step to facing the uncomfortable parts in ourselves is self-awareness and introspection. What is introspection? Introspection is the conscious, intentional examination of one's mental and emotional processes. This includes thoughts, feelings, and motives. This promotes self-awareness, personal growth, and better decision making. Now that we know what introspection is, this is what we are applying today. The first thing you need to do is start analyzing conflicts. This can mean you are going to look at past situations that you've had, and specifically the situations where you felt like the other person was wrong, and you are going to redirect the attention away from them and put it on yourself. And you're going to look at what you did, you're going to examine your motives, you're going to examine your thoughts, and you're going to examine where you were acting out of insecurity or anything like that. When you are looking at these situations in conflict, you are going to put yourself in the shoes of the other person. You are going to consider other perspectives and other realities. Your reality is not the only reality that exists. I had to learn this the hard way. Okay, I did. So understand that other people have other perspectives about certain things. They're not always the person that was wrong. Sometimes the issue is you. After you analyze the conflicts, you need to identify what your insecurities are. So if your insecurity is worrying too much about what other people think in your conflict, or if your insecurity is you feel the need to talk about people behind their back, if you feel like you can't face conflict head on, you feel like you need to run away from it, you deflect, you tend to get really defensive in conflict. If you feel the need to use insults when you're arguing with people, that was the thing for me, specifically with my siblings. Like, sometimes in order to feel like I'm in control of a situation, I may feel like I have to call you a name. That's not good, okay? We're working on that. But that is formed based off of insecurity. That is formed based off of like past situations and stuff like that. What you need to do in your situations is you need to identify what those insecurities are, because everything you do is rooted in something else. If you are feel the need to put other people down in order to make yourself feel better, that is a self-esteem issue, and that is something that is deep rooted in a past situation that you need to go figure out. Next, you need to determine your fear. Why does taking accountability scare you? Look at these situations and look at yourself. Why don't you want to face the uncomfortability in yourself? What are you afraid of? Why is it so scary to look at a situation that you were a part of and say, hey, I was wrong? Why is it hard to admit a lie that you told? So I am not going to wait for you to go and do the work and go look up why accountability scares you. I'm going to provide some reasons why taking accountability may scare you, and you can just listen to some of these reasonings and figure out which one identifies with you the most. Okay, number one, admitting you are wrong makes you feel like your identity is threatened. So if you make a wrong mistake or a wrong choice, you tend to I would say overgeneralize, but you tend to take that statement and make that your whole life. When people say a bad moment doesn't equal a bad life, that's what you do. You take that bad moment and you make it a bad person. You make yourself seem like you're a bad person for making a mistake. So you tie in a bad choice to your identity. Number 2, you have a fear of rejection. You feel like if people see you for who you truly are, or they see the mistakes you made, they're going to see you differently. Number 3, perfectionism. If you feel like you have to get everything right all the time, that also adds into running from your own inner critic. You're talking down to yourself. Of course, you're not going to want to take accountability because you're always telling yourself negative things instead of, hey, I make mistakes. Sometimes I mess up, but that doesn't make me a horrible person. Number 4, a fear of consequences. You're scared about what maybe your parents may do to you if they find out you made a mistake. You're worried about how people may perceive you after, people losing respect for you, or losing control over how people see you. Number 5, not taking accountability can be a learned behavior. Your parents could have unintentionally taught you how to not take accountability. If there was always harsh punishment whenever you made a mistake, embarrassment, or emotional shutdown, you may have learned that it's safer to deny than to admit, and you may be running from reliving past emotional experience. Number 6, you may be protecting your ego. Once again, how people see you, how you're portrayed. Like if you are taking accountability, you may think that contradicts with how you see yourself. The final thing is emotional immaturity. You may not be taking accountability because you genuinely don't know how. So out of those, which one do you think you relate to the most? Once you've decided that, you need to look into why you fear those things. So out of all of those fears, you pick the one that looks the most relatable to you, and you are going to take that fear. You're going to look into it like, hey, why do I have this fear? Really dig in to see what past thing made me fear this. So determine if it's a learned behavior or if it's a trauma response. The second part in getting comfortable with the uncomfortable parts of yourself is acceptance. You need to accept the fact that you are the villain sometimes. So but be gentle with yourself, y'all. Like this is your first time at life. You're not going to get everything right. If you are a problem, like if you have been really toxic in your past relationships, you need to be gracious with yourself. You are learning. It is your first time. If you're just now coming to the realization that, hey, maybe I do need to like start accepting the uncomfortable parts of yourself, you are on your own journey, and that is something that you are encountering maybe a little bit later, and that's okay. But that is your processing. You don't need to hate yourself and shame yourself. Oh, I'm such a terrible person for causing all these problems in my past relationships. So I have a couple scriptures for you guys to align with this new acceptance mindset. First is 2 Corinthians 5:17. It says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. That's the New International Version. So if you come to Christ, you are a new person. You do not need to shame yourself. The last one I'm going to share is Romans 8:1, which says, therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. So if you have made a mistake in your past and you are feeling really shameful of yourself for it, there is no condemnation in Christ Jesus. So go to Jesus. You need to accept, hey, I lie a lot. Hey, I'm kind of a jealous person. Hey, I'm kind of insecure. I kind of fear rejection. I tend to deflect. I get really defensive if anyone wants to try to hold me accountable. But you have to realize, in order to heal, you have to release the need to control other people's perceptions of you. Guys, I promise this is the most crucial thing in accepting the uncomfortable parts of ourselves. We don't want to accept the uncomfortable parts in ourselves because we are so worried about what other people think of us. We need to stop. You genuinely cannot stop your healing, your growth, your self-development because you are so worried about people shaming you about your past. You need to let them go. You need to stop being in denial and determine why you add so much value to these people's opinions of you. Someone is going to love you for who you are. When you change and you grow into a beautiful new person, someone is going to love you and think you are amazing. They're not going to shame you for all of the past stuff that you did. Even if you are a terrible, toxic individual in the past, they are not going to shame you for that, especially if you grow and you become a new creation. You can change. Remember that every single person is looking at every single situation based on their own experience and biases. Two people can look at the exact same situation and perceive it in entirely different ways. It's all based off of their personal experiences in their world. And then what other people think of you does not define you. Jesus does. Period. It was never about them anyway. It has always been about him. So why does it matter what everybody else has to say about you? Focus on what he thinks of you, not them. He's worried about if you can grow and if you can change. Stop worrying about if they're still stuck in the stuff that you did in 2019. Like, let them go. Acceptance. If you are a toxic individual, you need to accept that you need to heal and change. And the last part of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable parts of yourself is growth. This is where the change happens. The best thing about self-awareness and introspection is as soon as you decide that you want to be different, you absolutely can. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. You can literally be an entirely new person. You can literally decide to distance yourself from the old people, maybe even old people that you've hurt, and you can be free. But that also doesn't mean like if you are a father that you just run out on your children because you did so much bad and you just need to create a new life for yourself. Okay, no. Go take accountability. Go do what you need to do. Stay where you're needed. What I mean is, if you like genuinely are like, let's say you're single, you don't have a family, like you are literally living life and you may have been a really toxic person to a lot of people in the past, go make it right. But you can go and create an entirely new life for yourself. You can kind of reinvent yourself. Start over. And if you're older, you're just now realizing this, don't be jealous of younger people that, you know, may have had an earlier chance or earlier start at this. Go change your life now because you absolutely can. It's never too late for you. Remember, you are more respected when you can take accountability. You will feel freer and healthier people are attracted to you because taking accountability is really attractive. I know people that have become an entirely new individual from what I once known them as because they decided to do the work. It is going to require effort. It is going to be hard. This is not an easy thing. Trying to grow and face the uncomfortable parts of yourself, this is not an easy feat. It's difficult. It is a muscle that you have never trained before. So it's going to take practice, but do the work. First of all, determine why you associate vulnerability with weakness or danger. I'm going to do an entire video on that, but I'm not going to do that one today just because it'll just be really long, very deep and complex. And I really want to help you guys with not associating vulnerability with danger anymore. So that is going to be an entirely different video. But what I want you to do is pull out your ChatGPT. I would say ChatGPT is a really good tool to help with self-reflection and self-analyzation, and it's not going to harm you. Like looking at yourself and realizing you're the villain sometimes and you need to change yourself is not going to harm you in the future. Don't worry. Look back at your childhood. Look at trauma. Look at, you know, different parenting styles that may have impacted you as a kid. Look at how bullying may have impacted you. Anything in your past, you need to really start breaking that down and looking at why vulnerability makes you scared. Once you identify the problem, you can literally rewire your brain and lose the fear. But the biggest thing for the growth is it is going to require you to practice. Practice taking accountability and practice finding your safety in taking accountability. Maybe the safety and accountability is knowing that you are becoming a better person because you're taking accountability. Maybe the safety is that it's healthier even though there may be consequences because of your actions. Understanding that, you know, hey, I am making a healthy choice. I am getting one step closer to being a better person because I'm telling the truth in this area. Remember, when you take accountability, you are honoring God. He loves accountability. Journaling, facing those uncomfortable parts in yourself are going to require you to go all the way back on that timeline and go really look and deep dive into the stuff that has impacted you when you were younger. The people who love you are going to support your transformation. Don't worry about all those other people who are haters and decide to say, oh yeah, you did this, this, and this in the past and really like shame you and do all that different stuff. Don't worry about them. They don't matter. Focus on the new people that are going to love you. There are so many people you haven't met yet that are going to absolutely love the version of you that you are stepping into. Let's talk about the benefits of dealing with the uncomfortable parts in ourselves. When you notice your patterns early, you will have better and stronger relationships. You'll make more intentional choices and have a much more peaceful life. You gain self-trust. You teach yourself that, hey, I can actually handle reality. I can handle owning up. I can handle doing hard things. And when you build your self-trust, that builds confidence, that makes you more emotionally stable, more stable in general. You trust your own judgment and you're no longer afraid of yourself. Accountability makes other people feel safe around you. You don't deflect. You're not making other people feel uncomfortable. You're fostering real healthy relationships. You can communicate and repair, attracting healthier dynamics. Next, you can see who you really are and stop avoiding your flaws. You can really just be your authentic self when you just take accountability. You can be free. I promise your body, everything's going to thank you. When you start facing those uncomfortable parts of yourself, the healing is so much better on the other side. You'll have less inner chaos. You will gain peace from not constantly suppressing things, hiding things. You'll be able to be authentic and your internal world will feel safe and honest. You gain real strength. You're not running from your mistakes. You're not running from yourself. You're not manipulating and you're not afraid of discomfort. You can face it head on. And then you don't have to protect a false version of yourself. Once again, you have true freedom. You don't have to keep building on top of like false versions, bad versions of yourself to create these other realities. You can literally just be yourself. And then finally, your life starts upgrading itself. You genuinely grow and you're so much ahead of like kind of where everybody else is when you start accepting these uncomfortable parts in yourself. Because many people, like I said before, don't want to face it. So when you do it, you are ahead of the game and your life is going to naturally start upgrading in so many different areas. You're going to feel free and whole inside your body, inside yourself. You're going to feel closer with God. Your relationship with God is going to grow. You're going to foster so many beautiful relationships because you are a healthy individual. You're healing, you're growing. Businesses will flourish for you. Your life will flourish for you. You will feel really good. But that shift only happens when you decide to face it. So I'm going to leave that up to you. One uncomfortable thing for me that it was a struggle for me to face was like when I was younger, I would feel so like insecure about myself that I felt like I had to make up lies about like where I came from and who I was. I had lived in multiple different states. For example, I would like really take Atlanta. I didn't live there, but I lived in Alabama and we would visit there a lot. So I would take Atlanta and be like, oh yeah, that's my city, that's where I'm from, just to feel like I was cooler in myself. But then I realized, like, no, I'm cool because, like, I'm cool. Like, I don't need that city, and it's really not all that anyway now, but I felt the need to really use that as like something to make my personality. But now, like, girl, I've lived in Alabama, Houston, Wisconsin, like now I'm in Dallas. Like, I genuinely have moved so many places. I didn't need Atlanta to make myself feel cool. Like, I'm just cool, like, even without all that. Like, and that's just something, like, it was uncomfortable for me to face. I used to, like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I've done, like, because I was so insecure in myself that, you know, I had to face. Like, yeah, just face it, y'all. Just face it. What's the worst that can happen if you were insecure, you made a little mistake, and you just admit it? Guys, people understand. There's people that relate to you and just need you to tell the truth, and maybe it'll help them. I hope this video was very beneficial for you guys. I hope you guys could learn some things about facing the uncomfortable parts of yourself. It is a process. It is a journey. I am doing it myself. I love facing the uncomfortable parts of myself because I know that I'm growing into being the version of myself that, you know, I need to be. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more content like this, like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content like this from me. Thanks so much, y'all. Bye.